Hey guys, happy Friday. If you've never tuned in before and if I've come in across your feed, my name is Amy Howard and I'm the mother maker here at Amy Howard at Home. Today I'm excited. I'm going to be showing you a finish that is classic, it's timeless, but it's making a resurgence. Jean and I were just at the Frick Museum in New York City, and one of the things that I noticed on the trim in one of the living rooms was a beautiful, very classic, understated kind of green color Strie. That's spelled S-T-R-I-E, but there is an apostrophe, and it's pronounced Strie. And the beauty about it is it allows you to be able to create these very understated, horizontal or vertical or even denim looking finishes that are beautiful on furniture, on cabinetry, on picture frames. I've even gone in and created striés on mats that you want to be able to use on art. It is so versatile. And the products that we're going to be working with today and what I'm showing you, I'm going to show you a lot of different color variations. I'm also going to be showing you how to create and make a custom wax to be able to do a French style gray finish that you're going to see all the time. If you go to the Paris flea market, you're going to see this finish again and again and again. It's timeless. So again, today we're going over Strie, and I'm going to show you 4 different color variations. And what I want you to do is take advantage of the sale that we have going on right now with our Miracle Paint. The product that I'm using today is our Miracle Paint. It's a water-based enamel. I think I've got a can around here. I want you to see. This is 25% off through Sunday. Guys, this is one of the best paints that we offer. It has the primer as well as the top coat in it, and it is beautiful for Strie, and combining that with our glazed over. So take advantage of this. This is great to be able to paint your furniture with, your cabinets, your bathroom vanities. If y'all are like me, we're getting our houses ready for the holidays, and I've been painting and wallpapering up a storm. So I want you to be sure and take advantage of the sale that we've going on through Sunday on the Miracle Paint. All right, so I'm going to turn this down. I want you to be able to see what it is we're doing. As you pop on here, please say hey, and then share this video. We say sharing is caring here at Amy Howard at Home. Share the video and your name will go in for a drawing. And every week we give away product. We're going to be giving away a can of Miracle Paint and a can of glazed over to the lucky winner. So the way you win is you just want to share. Your name will go in for that drawing, and then that way we'll be shipping it to you absolutely free. All right, so I'm going to go on and turn my phone down that access my camera. So that way, I just want you to be able to see what it is. Now, when I'm working on rooms, oh, and be sure and say, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. I love saying this. We are a tribe of people that love creating a beautiful home. We want to be able to create a beautiful space. And when we do that, we can enjoy the bragging rights from it. So this is just a little piece of art that I've got here, because when I'm kind of laying out a room, what I want to feel like, what is the color palette that I'm going to be working with? It allows me to be able to use some of the finished samples that I've already got. And it also allows me to be able to see the variations and the colors and what's going to work best. So I had laid this out, and this is actually more of a denim striate finish. I'm going to be showing you how to recreate this today. That's one of them. And then I want to be able to also show you, I'm going to move this over. And this is my trail paper. Many of you have watched me that I have worked on this in my home. I put this in my guest bathroom, but I wanted you to be able to see some of the combination of the finishes with it. Now, this is just a very simple cerused finish on oak. This is very easy. You can go to my YouTube channel and you'll see just how easy and fun this is to recreate. Again, this is all about things being classic, timeless, that you can use over and over and over again. So this particular finish is a glaze, and I'm going to start with this first. There's a little bit of a glare, so I'm going to turn this around different ways so that way you can see it. Look at that. It's so pretty, and this is so easy to recreate. A lot of people think that when you're doing a finish, that it's got to be very dramatic. It's got to be dark colors. It's got to have a lot of wax on it. And that is simply not true. I want to be able to show you some variations as well as a gorgeous gray finish that you're going to see on a lot of French painted furniture. So I'm going to set this aside and we're going to go on and get started through the process. Now, this is the final coat of the Strie. Now, look what's interesting. This is how it starts out. A lot of people will say, really, Amy, I can't see that it's a painted finish. When I put it next to just a plain base coated piece, you can definitely see the transformation that it goes through. So the way you want to start out, and here's one thing I want to show you. When you're doing a Strie, depending on the color combination that you're doing, you're going to notice that lighter color that you see in this horizontal or vertical finish is going to be your base coat. So that is allowing you to be able to see that it peeks through. That's something that we need to take into consideration when we're creating the color palette that we want to work with. Now, a lot of people that watch, a lot of people that work with our paints, a lot of you are interior designers or decorative artists, or maybe you're somebody that sees your home as your canvas. So this is something that you can do on kitchen cabinets, you can do on bathroom vanities, you can do on furniture that you're going to be coordinating that with your wallpaper or painted walls. And it's absolutely very subtle, but very classic and beautiful. So the way we can get started, I want to take you through the steps so that way you can see it. And let's get this lined up so that way you can see. Also, as you pop on, if you have a question or you're wondering what it is that I'm doing or how you do something, please just ask me and we will answer it in the comments. So the color that I'm going to be starting with, again, it's great to be able to use the Miracle Paint because the Miracle Paint is a water-based enamel. It's beautiful because it will dry in 2 to 4 hours and you do not have to do anything else to it. I do recommend using clean slate first to be able to make sure that your surface is nice and clean and all the surfactants and things are off of it. So the other thing that you're going to notice, I'm just pouring some of this out here. I could very well be working on a cabinet that already has a finish on it. If you've got kitchen cabinets that are factory finish, you can put a Miracle Paint directly on top of it. Now, here's my suggestion. If you're going to create a Strie finish, do not roll the paint on. You want to be able to have a brushed on finish or either spray it on. Don't roll it on because that's going to create kind of a pebble effect. It's going to actually have a texture to it, which is okay if we're not doing a Strie on top. But I'm just coming back. I want to be able to show you. I'm going to brush on, and a lot of times when I'm doing a Strie finish, I use a sponge brush because that way I don't have any brush marks. It's nice and smooth, and it gives me a great surface to be able to do my Strie finish on. So the base coat color that I'm working with is called Best of You. Now, here's the other tip. Maybe you didn't know this, but this week we did a surprise. We added all of our fabulous Manor-born colors, all of our wall paint colors into the Miracle Paint line. So you can get, sorry, there goes my phone. Gene, I'll have to get that. So all of the colors that you see in Manor-born that are so yummy and so fabulous are now available in Manor-born. So take advantage of that now that you can get them 25% off through Sunday. All right, so I'm going on. I've got my base coat on. I want to make sure that this dries about 2 hours, and now I'm ready to put on my top coat. Now, as a rule, I will do 2 coats on my base coat. I just think it seals it really well, especially if I already have a factory finish on top of it. Now, one thing that I will do, and I know y'all are like sanding, the only reason I'm going to hit this with some sandpaper is because I am working off of wood that's kind of rough. If you're already painting on top of an existing kitchen cabinet or an existing piece of furniture that you have gotten, it might not be necessary to sand it. The only reason I'm sanding it is to smooth the painted finish so that way it doesn't, when I put my glaze on top of it, it's not going to grip into it. So I'm just using a sanding block. And again, this is just to be able to go over my paint so it's nice and smooth. it's best to work in one direction. I don't want you sanding this way and then this way, because what can happen, especially depending on the grit of your sandpaper, you could get some cross hatching, and that's not anything we want to do. So when we're sanding, make sure that you're sanding in one direction. Now I'm just going to go on and offload this. I want to make sure that I get all of the residue from my sanding off. Guys, as you pop on, please say hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. And we are giving away some Miracle Paint and some glazed over today for you guys for just sharing this video with your friend group on social media. All right, so now the second color I'm going to be working with is Selznick Gray. And I'm going to go on and pour in my Selznick Gray. Now, again, you're going to see the color combinations that I'm going to show you today. We're going to go into grays, we're going to go into blues, and we're going to go into greens. They're crazy how they can change. But so this is our Selznick Gray. It's kind of a taupey brown, has a little bit of gray in it, but it's actually more of kind of a taupey brown color. And this is available in the Miracle Paint. So now I'm going to add glazed over. Now, it's a very simple formula. So I don't want it to stress you out. It's 2 parts glazed over and 1 part Selznick Gray. Is everybody with me? So that way you can, let's just say if you want to simplify it, 1 cup, or you could say 2 cups of glazed over and 1 cup of Selznick Gray. Whatever it is, you can work in parts. Now, as a rule, when I am painting, I always do finish samples. That's just something that I've always done. And it allows me to be able to see the color. Today, if you ask, I've created a guide. I've typed up all of the directions for you. And I realize that it's good to be able to watch the live, but then also have the step outs and have the guide. So I've written all the color combinations that I've done, all the steps, and a little bit of art history on a Strie finish. If you're not familiar, Strie is a French word. And it basically was supposed to be able to resemble the silk and the linen, that texture, that finish that the French would have on their furniture. You know, they also upholstered a lot of walls. They were having a renaissance of all this beautiful hand-done silks that were absolute brocades. Everything were absolutely divine. So the Strie was created to be able to put that in the interiors. Now, again, I want to put this side by side again so you can see. This is your Strie finish. This starts out with your base coat of your Best of You, and then the top coat is Selznick Gray. So see how they go together? And it's very, very subtle. But this is so pretty on a piece of furniture or even on your trim. All right, so now I've mixed up my glaze. I've got one over here. The other thing is, I will always also apply my glaze with a sponge brush. That way it doesn't give me any strokes. It doesn't give me any brush marks. It allows me to be able to get it all over. And the other thing is I want you to be able to work on one section at a time. If I am working on a drawer, I'm only going to work on one drawer at a time, or I'll work on the top of my piece of furniture, or I'll work on a door at a time, because you also want to work on a horizontal surface. You don't want to work on this vertically. If you need to work on it vertically, you can. But I am also going to take a synthetic brush. The other thing that you're going to notice with the synthetic brush over a natural bristle is that it's stiffer. When I am working with doing a Strie finish, I want to make sure that I work with a clean brush, and I will usually have 2 of them with me, because right now it's a negative tool, meaning it's going to pull the paint off. But as it starts to load up, it can become a positive tool. And when it's a positive tool, it's going to start laying the paint back on. So what we're wanting to be able to do is we're wanting to be able to pull it and create a striated finish that would resemble silk or linen back in the 18th century. So now I'm going to lay my brush down on one end and I'm going to pull it all the way across. Then I'm going to flip my brush over and then I'm going to go the other direction. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to lay it down, and I am pulling it. You want to make sure that you're holding it and don't stop, because if you stop, you're going to get a break point. Now, what am I going to do? I've got my rag right here, and I'm going to pull off that paint. Now I'm going to flip my brush over, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm overlapping. Watch this. I'm overlapping how I went over that. Now, here's what I'm going to say as a caveat. If you have an area that's a little bit lighter than the other, or a little bit darker, or if you get some glaze stuck, or maybe if you get a piece of a bristle of paint in your glaze when you're doing this, I would suggest just taking a little bit of tape. If you get some hair in your finish, turn the tape just like this, and just pop down in it, and it will pick a hair out. Now, if you're working with a synthetic brush, you're very rarely going to have any of that that's going to come off. The other thing I want you to notice is as I'm pulling this through, I literally applied my glaze and then I started working. Now, this is a little bit darker, but I want you to see, once it dries down, it looks like this. If I hold that up, can you see? And it is so pretty. I want you to see it in combination with, like, if you had a wallpaper, or look at this. If you wanted, here's a great idea. You could do a china cabinet. You could do a piece of furniture. You could do it in this Strie, and then come back and paper the inside of your china cabinet with this paper. It would be absolutely divine. It just makes it pop and come to life. I love it. All right. So again, ask for the guide. I've put the color combinations. I've written all of these up so that way you have them. So now let's go to another color. This one, you're going to absolutely love it. All right. So now I'm going to show you the end result. This, I wish you could see this in person. It's got a little bit of glare on it because it's got a little bit of wax. Now, you'll notice I've added a little bit of a band of gold here because this is a beautiful, fabulous French finish. Again, I cannot tell you how many times we've gone to the Paris flea market and we see this color on the furniture. Again, it's a little bit of a, there it goes, just a little bit, so that way you can see. So in order to be able to create this finish, we're going to start with a base coat of Daddy's Girl. Again, I am working in the Miracle Paints. So these are colors that have been available in other, like whether it's Manor-born or Miracle Paint. Now the Miracle Paint is available in all the Manor-born colors. So the base coat is Daddy's Girl, and I'm going to come and I'm going to sand it again, only because I want a really nice, smooth finish to work on. Guys, as you pop on here, say hey. Tell me where you're tuning in from, and don't forget to take advantage. The Miracle Paint is 25% off this weekend through Sunday. All right, so now I feel good about that. Let's go in and wipe any excess off, because I need to make sure that I have a really nice clean surface that I'm working on. Can everybody hear me okay? Good, awesome, awesome. I learned my lesson. All right, so again, I've started with Daddy's Girl. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go in and paint each board each time, because you see the process of what we're doing. Now, I'm going to come back with Glover Gray. Glover Gray. Jean, do we have a little container of the Glover Gray? Can I show them? This is my glaze that I've mixed up. Again, when you're making a glaze, doing the Strie, you're going to use 2 parts glazed over and 1 part paint. So this is Glover Gray. And I just want to be able to show you. There's Glover Gray right there. Glover Gray is my top coat. I've done 2 parts glazed over and 1 part paint. And I'm going to lay it on top of, look, they're pretty similar in variations. Do you see that? So a lot of times when I am doing Stries, I do use monochromatic colors. It's not necessary, because I'm going to show you another color combo that you're going to go, Amy, I had no idea. So I've applied that. Always apply your glaze with a sponge brush. That way I don't have any bristles in it. And I've got a nice covered surface area. Now I'm going to come back with a synthetic brush again, because it's really taut, it's stiff, and it's going to allow me to be able to come through and pull the glaze from under the underneath base coat to be able to allow it to show through. So I'm going to lay this down, and holding it, I'm going to pull it through. Again, it's very, very subtle, but very classic. I've got my rag. I'm offloading it every single time I pull it through. I am offloading the paint onto my brush. Offloading it. All right, now pull that through that way. I'm going to come back one more time. The more you go over it, the finer it's going to get. All right, done. Now I'm going to let that set up. I will tell you, I hit some of these with a hairdryer. They dry fairly quickly. And here it is, already dry. Now, it's very, very subtle on this one. Now I want to show you a little trick. Now, I did come back on this one and I added a gilded band. I'm not going to add the gilded band today on this one, just strictly for the sake of time. You can go to any of my gilding videos, but I just strictly taped this off. I will show you that. If you're doing a cabinet, a piece of furniture, please, please, please take advantage of being able to add gilded accent to it. It is so fun, so easy, so rewarding. It's definitely one of those things that you can say you can enjoy the bragging rights from. But I always, when I am gilding, I will lay down some tape. So basically, I just laid my tape down like this, brushed on my size. Let me grab the size so that way you can see it here. And then I laid my leaf down on top of it. All right, so I want to show you the trick on how to really add a lot of depth on this gorgeous French Strie finish. Now, I don't know if I've ever shown y'all this before, but you're in for a treat. So I'm going to take my Dust of Ages. I've moved over to a chip brush. I am not using a synthetic brush for this. And then I am using my Mind Your Own Beeswax. So I'm going to squirt a little bit of this out. Like this. See now? And now I'm going to add a little bit of Dust of Ages. Again, this is one of the most popular color combinations that you will see on a lot of French antiques. I know that there are some of you that are going to Round Top, or you've been, or you're there, or you're on your way, and this is a finish that you will see again and again. So I am using Mind Your Own Beeswax and Dust of Ages, and I'm going to mix these together. Now, look at that. You know, I say this is literally making, if you talk about this, this is like a zinc wax. I'm going to hold this up because I want you to be able to kind of see the color of it. Look at that. It's absolutely yummy. All right, so now, taking my chip brush, I'm not working with a synthetic brush. I'm going to load up my chip brush with this zinc wax. Again, it was just Mind Your Own Beeswax and Dust of Ages. And now I'm going to go over my already striated piece again. So I've got three things going on. I've got my base coat, which is Daddy's Girl. I've got my glaze that we did on top, which is Glover Gray. We just pulled it through. Now we're coming on top of it with our Dust of Ages and our Mind Your Own Beeswax. So it's allowing me to be able to get a striated finish again with wax. So I do want to be respectful in the sense of how I'm applying it and how I'm pulling it through like this. Because I'm wanting to stay in one direction. And here's the other thing that's kind of a happy that you get from it. You can do this a little bit with steel wool if you want to. I'm going to come back over it, but I want you to see. When little things kind of pile up like this, don't panic and don't think that that's not great, because what are we imitating again with Strie? Again, it goes back to that French terminology. It's supposed to be like a silk, a raw silk, a linen. That's where they were creating that from. So it's a good thing that we have some of those. Now I am going to come back with my other brush and I'm going to soften it just a little bit and pull it through. This, I wished you could see this in person. Those of you that are coming to our retreat, so excited to see you. You're going to be able to see these finishes in the studio. Look at that. Now, here's the great thing about it. This is absolutely yummy, yummy, yummy. This can dry down, and that way, once it's dry, you can buff it. And when I buffed it, this is what it looks like. It's so pretty. It's so subtle. You know, and here's the other thing. If you like it like this, if you're doing a tremo and you're going to do an antique mirror in it, you know, let's grab one. I've got, this is more of an église finish. I just want to kind of put it next to it to see what that antique mirror would look like. Isn't that fab? Love it. It's so subtle. This color combination will go with almost anything. And again, the base coat is Daddy's Girl and the top coat is Glover Gray. All right, so let's do one more. I want to show you one more. All right, so be sure and tell me where you're tuning in. Now, this is another color combination. The base coat is Summer Regatta. Isn't that a pretty color? The top coat is High Hampton Getaway. Look at the difference. When you look at this by itself, you think, okay, well, that doesn't really look like a finish. But until you see how beautiful it can be. And here's a great combination. Let's say you could paint your wall this color, and then you could have your kitchen cabinets this color. They would be fabulous together. Or you think about painting a piece of furniture to be able to go on this wall. Or maybe you're wanting to redo your bathroom vanity. I want to show you something. So you can go back and look on some of my former YouTube channels. So if you're thinking about, you want to get your bathroom ready for the holidays, that's why a lot of people are thinking, our kids are coming in town, you're going to have your grandkids, you're going to have friends, people that you entertain with, and you want to be able to get your bathroom ready. Look what a great color combo. So we could paint our walls Summer Regatta. It's yummy, goes with everything. You could paint your tiles with the Luxe Lacquer in white. Then we could come back and create this finish. I have a YouTube on it where I show you how to create the Carrara marble with the resin on it. And then this would be a fabulous Strie finish on your cabinets. Are y'all with me? Isn't that fab? I love this. It's absolutely fabulous. It's timeless, and it just makes me feel good. Don't you like that, Jean? I love that. All right, so I'll show you very quickly because there is one last one that I want to show you. So this is my glaze. This is High Hampton glaze. And again, it's 2 parts glazed over and 1 part Miracle Paint, color of your choice. See, again, this is monochromatic. And that pale color underneath the Summer Regatta is what's peeking through. All right, so now we're just going to pull our brush, synthetic brush, and pull it all the way through. There is a very even pressure to it. And again, you're going to work on a drawer or a door at a time. So pretty. It's a little darker. When it dries down, you're going to be able to see the Strie. It's really, really pretty. I love it. I so love it. All right, so now, last but definitely not least, a lot of you may have seen finishes and they were more denim looking. And I do have a blue color that I want you to see too, because I showed you earlier. Now, see the variations of this finish. It's a little bit more denim. This is a little bit more provincial. You might say it's a little bit more cottagey. Is this a piece that you could do on a table? 100%. The great thing about it is the Miracle Paint has your primer in it and it has your top coat. Add that to the fact that we're making a glaze for it. The glazed over, and a lot of people don't realize the glazed over actually has a varnish protectant coat in it. So 2 parts glazed over, 1 part Miracle Paint makes our glaze. And the way to be able to get this look, it's very simple. It's just adding 1 additional element. So this one is, the base coat is Birdie's Song. One thing I want you to notice, see how it's kind of complementary in that color family. So your blues and greens are complementary colors. But here's another note that I want you to remember. Notice how the base coat is always lighter than the glaze that we're putting on top. That's a very important element. All right, so I am working with a glaze that is called Rain, Please Go Away. This is my top coat, and my base coat is Birdie's Song. Top coat, Rain, Please Go Away. You can ask for the guide. We'll have it on Instagram, Facebook, but the guide, I wrote down all the colors and all the processes and how to do it. So that way you'll have it in writing. All right, so now I'm going to go on and, again, use my sponge brush to apply my glaze. I do that just strictly because I don't want to have brush strokes. Putting my glaze on. I got a little bit of excess on here. That's the joys of doing a live. Guys, as you pop on, say hey. Tell me where you're tuning in from. So the other thing is, and a lot of people don't realize, the glazed over is going to give you a little bit more working time. But usually if I'm working on a door or a drawer or a piece of furniture, I will go right to it. I'll put it on all over that piece and then I start going in and working, because I do have some open time, but it is going to set up. So again, I'm using a synthetic brush because it's that much more, it's stiff. It's allowing me a lot more versatility. And here's the difference of this finish that I'm going to show you. So this one's different from the other ones that we've done. We're going to go in and pull it this direction. We're going to flip our brush. Boom. Now, what do you think we're going to do? In order to be able to get this texture, what are we going to do? We're going to go the opposite direction. So we went horizontal. And now we're going to come back with our brush, and look how I'm holding my brush differently this time. And I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to pull it. And this is basically a denim effect, but look how I'm holding my brush. I'm not holding it like this. I'm not painting it. I'm holding it very loosely on top. So I'm dragging it. I'm not brushing it. I'm literally dragging it against the horizontal that I lay down. Look at that. It's very, very light. Very light. And it gives me this very subtle finish that looks like denim. So you can have fun with the different color variations that you do this in. You see it's kind of glossy, of course, because it's wet. But then when it dries down, it's a really pretty finish. So you can go in and you can do this in a lot of different color variations. It feels kind of cottagey to me, but I love it. Again, it's so subtle. If you want to be able to come back, you could stripe this out in maybe a Bauhaus buff depending on if it's more cottagey or if you want to make it more elevated, like it's a very high French piece, you could gild it. You could do it in a little bit of gilded silver or a little bit of gilded gold. But I would love to stripe this out, maybe my drawers, the tops of my piece in Bauhaus Buff. It would be so, so pretty with this color combination. So hopefully it was an interesting education on how to create a beautiful Strie French finish that allows you versatility, color variations, doing it in monochromatic, and then playing with seeing how that underlying base coat with that darker color on top of it, it's going to allow that base coat to show through when you pull that glaze through, and it's going to be absolutely magnificent. It's subtle, but it's oh so beautiful. So if you get up to New York, or maybe you have a trip planned that you're going to be going to a historical building, look at the trim, look at the furniture, look at the cabinetry. I'm going to tell you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a gorgeous Strie finish. And now you know how to create it on your pieces as well. Share this video, tag some good friends that love to craft a beautiful life, and your name will go in for a drawing that we'll be giving away. We'll announce the winners next week. We'll be giving away the Miracle Paint as well as the glazed over, and take advantage of this weekend. We're going to have through Sunday, the Miracle Paint is 25% off, and you can go to the information on Instagram and ask for the guide. I've written out all of the directions today and the color combinations that we did, so that way you can craft a beautiful life. Love you guys. Share this video, tag some good friends. Bye.